Usually when I'm driving to work, who's going to be on the lake is my main thought, really. Especially during a period of cold weather, we could have new arrivals. We could have up to 50 new arrivals in one night, and that's what we call a swan fall. And we have a couple of those swan falls every winter. There's something quite magical about seeing, hundreds of Bewick swans coming from high Arctic Russian tundra, that's 2,500 miles away, and then arriving on a little pond in Gloucestershire to spend the winter with us. So we're in a very privileged position, and we all get very excited about their imminent arrival. And actually, I don't think the winter would be the same without them here. These are migratory birds, and Slimbridge really is the end of their migration. We have 6,000 in the UK, and this is the last stopping post, as it were. So my job simply every day is to look through the flock and to identify individual Bewick swans by their unique bill patterns and record their movements and behaviours. I'm always kind of quite keen to just kind of get my telescope rigged up and kind of see if there are any new birds that have just recently arrived overnight, and whether I recognise them from years before. So it's a little bit like welcoming back old friends sometimes. The founder of WWT, Sir Peter Scott, initiated the Bewick swan bill pattern study, which is continued to this day. So this was a technique that Peter Scott used to record different behaviours and movements of individual birds without having to catch them and mark them. And that's now one of the longest running single species projects in the world.
We're here at this time at 4 o'clock for the bird feed, as the warden will come round and feed the birds. And it's really interesting, he whistles to let the birds know that he's actually going to commence the feed, so they're not startled. Apparently, over many, many years that they've been doing the feed, the birds have got accustomed to this, and so that they know that's kind of their warning that they're safe. And then he feeds them, and also he does a commentary about what birds are flying in and what we can see.
Well, you can see it's fitted with a net collar. On the side of the net collar is a little solar panel, and that's one of the birds that is going to be sending back information about those vital migration routes.
And they do face a number of threats on their journey. Unfortunately, many of those are man-made. Power line collisions and collisions with kind of man-made structures has always been quite a big problem for big-bodied birds such as swans. And so again, we're trying to work closely with electricity companies and so on. Several of the threats we've identified include illegal shooting. So we x-ray live caught birds here at Slimbridge, and we can look at the x-rays and see that some of them are carrying shots. They've been illegally shot at somewhere along the migration route. So we're working hard with hunters at the moment to try and reduce the levels of illegal shooting of these birds.
They've been worried that when they've x-rayed them, they can see that they've got lead shot in them and things like that. So they're obviously very sadly being hunted at somewhere on that route that they're travelling. They're a beautiful, free creature that, should be able to sort of fly uninhibited. So I think it would be excellent if the work would continue, and then people would come and enjoy and just see their whole story, really. I think they'd had one group of birds that have been coming back, I think, over 20 years. And that's amazing to me that they travel those distances and then they just come back to this one point, which I guess that, they appreciate the safety while they're here.
They're very loyal birds, they like Slimbridge and they keep coming here. They like each other and they stick with their own partners. So there's all of these qualities in the mix that make them, for me, they make them kind of stand out.
The swan feed was superb, yes, excellent. It was very special to have that many wild birds in such close proximity. The different families and the youngsters, it's kind of, the story of their life, really, all outside of the window.